There's a couple of ways we can think about holding a pick correctly. One idea that people often find helpful is to think of it like you're holding a key. If you were going to put a key in a lock and turn it, that's pretty much the position you want to be holding a pick in. Another interesting concept to think about is the idea that we want to have the point of the pick at right angles to the direction of our thumb. So if I'm holding my arm out like this, you can see there's a nice straight line between my elbow all the way through to my thumb. My wrist is not curving like that, it's not bent. There's a straight line down my arm through to the point of my thumb. And the pick is actually at right angles to the direction of my thumb. If I kind of hold it back a little bit, we might be able to see it. The pick's actually at right angles to the direction of my thumb. That way, when I bring my arm over like this, I've still got that nice straight line through there, through the thumb, but the pick is perpendicular. It's pointing directly into the strings. Another way we can think about this is to make a fist, put it on the strings, and then just relax it slightly. That's pretty much how we want to have our hand when we're picking. The pick just slots right in there between the thumb and the fingers. It will likely feel very weird at first when you're playing with a pick, but you just have to get used to it. Think about when you first started learning how to write with a pen. It was weird. You're like, what is this tool? It seems probably more sensible to just grab it in your fist like that. That seems like the easy way to hold this thing. But as I'm sure we all know, that's not very conducive to writing well. It doesn't give us the control that we need. So we learn to hold the pen between our fingers in a specific way, which seems strange at first, but it lets us use the tool more effectively later on. That's the same idea with a pick. It's gonna seem strange to start with, but if we stick with it and use the correct technique as we're developing, it'll feel effortless and it will give us so much more control later on. One other important note is we only want to use 2 fingers when we're holding a pick. We don't want to hold it with 3 fingers because that's going to limit the control. 2 fingers is going to give us far more dexterity using the pick later on. Sometimes when people are starting out, they get told that they should use really thin picks because it's easier for strumming and stuff. I disagree with that point. I think it's better when you're starting out to use a pick that has no flex in it at all. So maybe like a 0.8 minimum, but maybe like a 1mm pick, even thicker maybe. The pick that I use on the regular is, I don't know how thick this is. It's at least 1mm. I think it's one and a bit. I don't know. But it has no flex at all. And the reason I think this is important for beginners especially is if you have a pick that has a lot of flex in it, it forgives you if you hold it too tightly. If I hold this pick too tightly, it sounds like this. It does not sound good. But if I had a pick that had a lot of flex in it, I could hold it too tightly and the pick would be forgiving and it wouldn't sound like that. If my pick is thick and has 0 flex, I've got to learn to hold it more delicately so that I can get a good sound out of the guitar. Here's how I like to think about it. You know when you are holding a glass or a mug of green tea, when you're holding this thing, you're not gripping it really, really tightly. You're not trying to break it. You're also not holding it too lightly so that it slips out of your hand. You're applying just the right amount of force that you need to hold it. That's the same as a pick. We don't need to be squeezing that thing so tightly we're trying to snap it in half, but we also don't want to hold it so loosely that we drop it. We want to apply just the appropriate amount of force to hold the pick. Light, gentle touch. Hey guys, thanks for checking out the lesson. This one is part of a series of lessons that I produced while working on the content for our new beginner guitar course. If you're starting out on guitar, head along to guitarnutrition.com and check that out. And if you want a free Zoom lesson, go over to the website guitarnutrition.com and sign up for the newsletter.